This video I'm going to add like terms and apply the distributive property. That should be a review for you. This is the first page. Here's the second page. We'll look at adding, x squared and x. What does that mean? And then we'll add these. And here's the fourth page. This is the fourth page. Okay. So starting on page 1. A plus 3b plus 2a minus b. What does that mean? Well, whenever you see parentheses, it's a grouping symbol. It groups these quantities together. We can think of this as, an apple and 3 bananas. And then we have another parentheses. It's kind of like another bag, say 2 apples minus a banana. What happens when we put the two bags together? Well, if you have parentheses like that, I mean, just because it means there's one bag there, basically. So you could think of this that there's a number 1 here, and if you multiply the 1 in, you'll have, 1a plus 3b. And here we have, one bag. So it's like you could have the number 1 here. If you multiply that in, that's 2 apples, minus 1 banana, say. Now, if I add like terms, to simplify this, to write it with less ink, I would put the apples together, and I'd put the bananas together, plus 2 bananas. 3 bananas minus 1 banana, 2 bananas. Okay, so go ahead and do this one. X minus 5 plus 2 times x minus 3. Press pause and do that. Okay, now I'll do it. Here, there's a parentheses. It's like a bag. There's no number on the outside. So it's kind of like there's one bag here. So multiply 1 in, and that's, 1x minus 5. Here, there's a 2 beside the parentheses. That's kind of like saying there's 2 bags. There's 2 of these quantities. So multiply 2 in, we get 2x minus 6. Adding like terms, 1x and 2x is 3x. And we have negative 5 plus a negative 6. Whenever you see subtract, you can change it to plus negative. So that says negative 5 plus negative 6, which is, 3x plus negative 11. Or simpler, because plus negative is the same as subtract, that's just 3x minus 11. Okay. So, if we have 4 times n plus 2p minus 2 times 3n plus b, you can think of this as 4 of these bags. And in each of these bags, there's a marker and 2 pens. Okay, in this bag, there are 3 markers and 1 pen. So we're going to take 4 of these bags and then subtract 2 of these bags and see what's left. Well, if I take 4 of these bags, I'll have 4 markers plus 8 pens. Okay, if I subtract 2 of these bags, I have to multiply negative 2 in here and here. So I'm going to, negative 2 times 3 is negative 6m, negative 2 times p is negative 2p. So I'm going to subtract 6 markers and then subtract 2 pens. So if I have 4 markers and I subtract 6 markers, I'll have negative 2 markers. I'll be down 2 markers. I'll be in debt 2 markers. If I have 8 pens and subtract 2 pens, I'll have 6 pens. Okay, so that's the answer. So press pause on the video and do this one. Now I'll do it. You have 2 of these bags, so you multiply 2 in, you get 6 minus 2x minus 3 in here, multiply negative 3 in, get negative 3x plus 3, add like terms, and you can put the x's together first. That's plus negative, that's plus negative. Negative 2x plus a negative 3x. 2 negatives and 3 negatives make 5 negatives, negative 5x. 6 and 3 makes 9. So we have negative 5x plus 9. Now look at these. If we add, say, an apple and 6 cherries in one bag, minus this bag which contains 3 apples and 2 cherries, again, this is like having one bag. So multiply the 1 in, and that's 1 apple plus 6 cherries. And then subtract this. It's like subtracting 1 of these bags. So I multiply negative 1 in here. So that's negative 3a minus 2c. Now when I add like terms and put the apples together, 1a minus 3a, I'll be in debt 2 apples. Put the cherries together, 6 cherries minus 2 cherries plus 4 cherries. So press pause in the video and simplify this expression. Now I'll do it. That's 5x minus this. Now this is one of these bags. So I multiply negative 1 in here. Negative 1 times x, negative 1x, negative 1 times negative 3, plus 3. And 5x minus 1x is 4x. So 4x plus 3 is the answer. Page 2. Let's simplify x squared plus x. What do you think that is? Press pause on the video and write what this would give us. X squared plus x. Do we think it is 2x? Or maybe it's 2x squared? And if it isn't, why not? What is it? And why is it that way? Can you explain what the answer is? Let's say if we let x be 10. Now what would x squared plus x be? Would it be 10 squared plus 10? Okay, so the question is that equal to 2x, which would be 2 times 10? Or is it equal to 2x squared, 2 times 10 squared, because see, x is 10. Right? So you tell me, which one is it? Is it 2 times 10 or 2 times 10 squared? What's the correct answer? Can we see what's going on here? Well, 2 times 10 is 20. 2 times 10 squared is 2 times 100, isn't it? Which is 200. But we know 10 squared is 100, plus 10 gives 110. So 20 is not correct. 2x, 2 times 10. 200 is not correct. 2 times x squared. So the answer is 110, which of course is 100 is 110. So it's 110. 10 squared plus 10. You can't really make 2 of anything, can you? The same with this. X squared is simply not the same number as x, so you can't put it together. I mean, if I had the number, if I was doing this, 10 plus 10, now that's the same number. That's equal to 2 tens. Similarly, x plus x would be 2x, wouldn't it? 2 x's, right? If you had 3 plus 3, what's that? Well, it's 6. It's 2 times 3, 2 threes. Now, if you have 10 squared plus 10 squared, that's a different thing. That's 100 plus 100, which is 200, or 2 times 10 squared. Just like x squared plus x squared would be 2 times x squared. These are like terms. These are like terms. When they have the same exponent, they're like terms. These, you know, you can add x's together, you can add x squareds, and indeed x cubed. If you had, say, 10 cubed plus 10 cubed, that would be, you know, 1,000. 10 cubed is 1,000 plus 1,000, which would be 2,000, or 2 times 10 cubed. 2 times 1,000, which is 2,000, right? Just like x cubed plus x cubed would be 2x cubed. So if the x's have the same exponent, they are like terms, otherwise they are not. So the simplest way to write x squared plus x is you can write this. You can write x squared plus x, and you're done. This is the answer. They're not like terms. You can't put them together. Just like if you had, what's the simplest way to write an apple plus a banana? Is it an apple banana? Is it 2 apples? Is it 2 bananas? No, no, no. It's just an apple plus a banana. They're not like terms. They can't be put together. Okay? So, if x's have the same power, they are like terms. So simplify this expression, press pause. We have 1x squared plus 2x squared, that's 3x squared. We have 2x and 5x, 7x. And we have 3 plus 1, which is 4, right? Check that, is that correct? I think so. And that's as far as you can go. Because x squared is not like terms with x, and this is a number. So it's just like having, you know, 3 apples plus 7 bananas plus 4 cherries. You can't simplify that any further. They're not like terms, you're done. Or it's just like having, you know, 3 times 100 plus 7 times 10 plus 4. The answer is 300 plus 70 plus 4, or 374. But you can't add the 3 and 7 together. You can't add the 4 and 7 together. You're just done. That's it. That's the answer. 307 D and 4. You can't put these digits together, just like you can't put these together. You're done. Okay? So we know x's of different powers are not like terms when we're adding them. So we should be able to simplify this. So press pause and see if you can simplify it. Now I'll do it. Whenever you simplify something, you must follow the order of operations PEMDAS. And PEMDAS says we multiply. In this case, we don't have we have parentheses. We can't do anything in here. Okay, no, there's no like terms in here. We've no exponents is just on the x. We can't do anything with that. But we can multiply a -3 in, right? Because subtract 3 times this parenthesis, it's like plus -3 times everything, which gives -3x squared. And then -3 times -2x. Negative times negative, positive 6x, right? -3 times -1, positive 1. And we still have our 5x squared plus 3x minus 1, correct? Now put like terms together. 5x squared minus 3x squared. Right, these are like terms. That gives 2x squared. 3x and 6x, it gives 9x. And -1 plus 3 gives 2. And x squared and x are not like terms, and this number here, number 2, is not like terms either, so that's the final answer. So again, press pause and simplify this expression. Okay, now I'll do it. We have a parentheses, so there's a multiplication to be done. And how many bags is this? How many bags do we have here? You see, there's no number in front of here. Here we had the number 3, so we multiplied it in. There's no number. Well, you think, well, there's one bag. Okay, there's one of these groups. And in fact, it's -1, so we can multiply -1 everywhere to get -1x squared. And then -1 times -4x. Negative times negative, positive 4x, right? And what about -1 times -5? Plus 5, right? And then just bring these terms down. X squared plus 2, x cubed, x to the power of 3 plus 2x squared. And now add like terms. Well, I've got one x cubed term. I have two x squared terms. I have one x term and a number term. That's all. So the only ones I can put together are the x squareds. Put these together and they give me 1x squared. Write everything else down. I have x cubed, or x to the power of 3, plus 1x squared, plus 4x plus 5, and that's the final answer.